And
my
even they
God.
say happy wife, happy life.
Oh yeah.
Why?
There you
And I
go.
see that in the store. You know, that's what they fill the house with and stuff.
Like, she's always right. Like, why do we have terms like that?
Yeah.
And it's like, ha ha ha. As soon as the guy, you know, I don't know, there's like merchandise for the guy. It's just like, it's just wrong.
Yeah, and would you
Not
guys
religious.
care? Would you get married in a courthouse?
No, never, ever. Don't
Oh,
recommend
sorry,
it.
Okay. Would you get married like a small ceremony where it's just either like legally or just like
Never legally. But
Okay.
yeah, small ceremony.
small ceremony?
Yeah. And I'd have an intimate wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like no dress, no nothing. Just like we're married.
What normal what tracksuit?
No, like some people.
I got my gym tracksuit on.
I'm trying to think of like what the equivalent would be, but I'm thinking of the reason I asked the courthouse wedding wasn't necessarily because of like
Are you
the
talking about
court.
intimate?
I was talking about like a lot of women get married for the wedding and
For,
not
like,
the
the show
actual
of it.
and not for a husband. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like if
yeah,
you
yeah.
got rid of the wedding, would you still want to get married?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
more money in my pocket. That's
Yeah.
it's too much.
That's how I think too. I'm
It's like all of that money, all that extravagantness for maybe 20 minutes for people to see you walk down that. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's great. But it's like, why all of this when you can just show, you can have the same feel, show the love that you have for the person that you're getting married to in a smaller aspect, a cheaper aspect. And then if you all want to go have fun afterwards, go meet up somewhere. It's just, a lot of weddings are very showy. And it's like, do you need all that to just say, I do?
It's just like when you did that video about with that black chick when she said, "Well, how much was the
she wanted
engagement
a
ring?
$200,000 engagement.
200." Right.
And
And
she's
well-
still single.
Give me a ring pop.
Of
Blueberry.
Of course. But that's the thing. It's like you're a very used Honda Civic and you want new BMW prices. But if you sold yourself at used Honda Civic prices, you might get a good buyer.
Yeah.
But instead the dating coaches are saying raise your standards. But it's like women, you can't raise your standards the older you get. Like because you're less valuable in the market. And you might find a sucker, but do you really want a sucker?
There you go.
I know a crazy story, and it kind of interlinks with everything. Anyway, there was this woman. My sister knows her. She was, I think, 32 or something, and you know, she was like thinking about marriage and things like that. She didn't have anybody. She literally turned to her friend, her guy friend, and said, you know, she was like, you know, venting to him like, oh, I can't find anyone. I really want to get married. And he goes, I'll marry you. And they got married. She had the huge wedding, like, you know, the fancy dress and all that stuff. And she's still married and she doesn't love him. And her family doesn't know. And they're waiting for grandchildren. And they're
so
like,
sad.
why aren't there grandchildren? He's an idiot because he thinks that, oh yeah, one day she'll fall in love with me. And she just used him literally for the wedding.
Is he beaten though?
What does that mean?
Smashing.
Oh, right. I don't know. But can you imagine? She
mad bunk bed.
she's the type of person, you know, she's you know, she has a career and everything like that. She just wanted the freaking wedding, and now so one day she's married to him for 5 years.
She's
now.
a narcissist.
5 years.
Isn't that
There you go.
nuts?
Like I would like I just don't care. I've never cared about a wedding.
But that's how insane like they can get about the wedding.
Like to me,
I have to have
like
the wedding.
10K on a wedding, I'm just like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We could go to
What
like
can you
Asia. We could go
do?
see Asia for that.
That's a deposit up north. You could get a house up north for that, man. The hell?
What? Why did you say you would never get married in court?
Well, because it's probably the least romantic thing you could ever do. Because you know, let's just say if it goes to divorce, then the government, the state will just treat you like your two business partners, and then you know, you would have somebody to divide your, you know, your hard-earned money and your assets.
So is there a way to get married without the courts?
Yes.
If you're allowed to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure. It's just because I think about the US a lot, and then I think about the UK, and obviously it's different. But so in the US, unfortunately, and my heart goes out to, you know, the men. If you cohabit, they treat you as if you are, you know, married in some sense. You know, in terms of the woman can say, you know, I want alimony, but they weren't even married. You didn't have a marriage contract.
Mm.
So what is this? Because a lot of people will cohabit not to go into that. So if the woman, so then you can like amicably, you know, like, okay, this is how much you're taking. And she could even say, yeah, I'll do that. But then she just goes to the courthouse and then they treat it as a marriage. So your assets will be divided as if you're married.
Wow.
However, in the UK now, you could cohabit, common law marriage, as it's known. It's not recognized as a state marriage.
Mm.
So that's actually something that we need to protect in the UK. But you know that the women, they're like, no, we want like a religious ceremony to be the same as a state like marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Why would they want that?
Security, insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance policy. So what are you saying? I
that's
need to know this
insane.
information. Hold on, let me get this straight. So you're
Get
saying
your
in the UK,
notepads out.
so
in
you
the-
get saying in the UK, yeah, like I can cohabit with a woman, and then if we break, she can't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Unless, and this makes sense, unless you have a child.
Ooh.
And then, you know, you have
Yeah,
to,
but that's always sticky if you have a child. then it
yeah,
gets
I know,
sticky.
but I just want to make that because
Mhm.
people probably think they'll just get confused. But that's something that has to be protected. And I really wish that the US had this, like the cohabitation thing, like just mashing them together as if you're married, you know, it's synonymous is very wrong, of course.
Mhm.
And we have that in the UK. That's something to be happy about, that is protected. So an adult man, an adult woman, they can negotiate, mediate together and, you know, come up with something by themselves instead of having like a completely foreign third party.
Start dictating.
Yeah. And that's actually worse for the children, seeing mommy and daddy fighting and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff is horrible. But like I said, it's under threat at the moment because there are loads of organizations and, you know, like, yeah, anyway, led by women, and saying that, no, if you get a religious ceremony, let's just say, so it's not state, it would just automatically be seen as a state marriage.
Raw.
And they say, there's one organization, I don't know if I can mention it, so I won't mention it, but they say in the website, it's like, because we have seen too many women being taken advantage of. But what does that mean?
No, that's gas.
Women.
That's gas.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
Women have been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? It's cheaper to keep her.
Because I think it's because they see if it was a state marriage,
Mhm.
you'll be closer to getting 50%.
Right.
And if it's like amicably, it's like, okay, what did you contribute to the marriage?
Mhm.
And usually it will be much less than what the man contributed
Right,
because
right.
he fulfilled the fundamental needs.
Mhm.
And I'm not like downplaying what a woman brings,
Mhm.
but in terms of them kind of, you know, deciding who takes what, it's a lot more fair. But the
Mhm.
thing is, equality doesn't mean, I think now the feminists are trying to say equity, which is quite sneaky. Like equity.
What's the difference?
Oh, did you want to chime
'Cause I
in?
heard someone say that. I think it was yesterday or something.
It was on your show as well. I was
Yeah.
losing my mind. I was like, no.
It's like it's just basically it's basically just equality when it benefits. Like let's just be real.
Do you know what it is? It's basically okay. It's equality of outcome. So
Yeah.
they recognize that now. They're recognizing saying equality isn't enough because we'll be called out on it. Because as women, we aren't the same as men. We
Mhm.
can't do as much hours and all that stuff, right? So we're not equal. However, I want equity, which means I'll get the same outcome. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So if I go, and that's the worst thing, I think one of your guests said that she believes in equity. I don't think she
Yeah.
knew what she was talking about.
No,
I was losing my mind.
She saw a picture with like boxes and looking over a fence.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't.
And she
Oh,
mentioned that in
that
divorce.
analogy, okay.
No, that's not a good analogy.
No, yeah,
Because thing is, literally all I can say is, who gives her the boxes? Where did the boxes come from? The man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't make it fair.
yeah.
So
But
yeah.
that's the thing. Like women are so oblivious to the fact that like men bail us out of all of our bad decisions.
Yeah, they
Like
do.
historically, we couldn't even be single.
Mhm.
Like we literally couldn't survive being single. But
Nope.
like who protects us? The police,
Men. Yeah.
firemen,
Yeah.
people that build the building. Like we wouldn't be able to do any of this without men.
Trust me, women don't want it to be no wild, wild west out here. Trust me, they don't want that.